Americans bracing for a Supreme Court decision on health care law subsidies that some say could mean severe price spikes for everyone. Gary B., if the justices strike it down, prices going up?
Absolutely, Brenda. Look, the whole essence, to boil down Obamacare, is the one thing. It's a tax on everyone that can afford to pay. So the people like myself, if you will, have to pay. I've seen prices, my premiums gone up 30%. If everyone chips in, then we'll be able to pay for the 30 million or so that are uninsured. And by the way, even with Obamacare right now, 30 million uninsured. So it's clearly working, if you will.
Well, Emily, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Emily, you've been out there protesting. Why?
Look, this law, the impacts of this case are huge. There are 36 states that have federal marketplaces, which means they did not set up their own, and they are getting the subsidies. They are getting federal subsidies. That is the question in this case. So if the justices rule against the government and say that they can no longer get subsidies in these federal marketplaces, this actually will create the death spiral that people were so concerned about Obamacare in the first place that has actually not come to fruition. But it actually will if the justices rule against Obamacare in this case.
Melissa, does that make sense to you?
You know what? It's your money either way. I mean, it's such a funny conversation because you're talking about if you take the subsidies away, everybody's health care premiums are going to spike through the roof. Yes, that's absolutely true. But where do you think the subsidy money comes from? The exact same people, your tax dollars. I mean, there isn't a money tree in Washington where this money is just miraculously coming out of the sky. It's hardworking people's money either way, paying for people who couldn't afford insurance before because they use a lot of insurance out of the system. They use a lot of health care because they're already ill or because they're not working. We're all paying for everyone else to have insurance, no matter how you slice it.
Okay, Jonas.
First of all, Emily's right. This will unwind the whole thing. It's kind of a key component of it. But as far as the actual premiums, it's unclear what will happen because if the government mandated you go to college and then subsidized everybody who couldn't afford to, removing that subsidy isn't going to make tuition go up. It would actually make it go down because now there's less artificial demand for insurance. That's one thing to think about. Another thing is the people that are going to get the subsidies, this is an economic show, so we'll talk about, are the poor people who don't have jobs that pay for it and need a subsidy. Any insurance executive will tell you off the record, those people are not very healthy. They are more likely to smoke, be overweight, have diabetes, and a whole host of conditions that they are not looking to pay for. So I don't know what the effect is going to be on the other tiers of people paying insurance. Now, there are other pieces that might stay in place, like a mandate
I'm sorry, I got to get John in. John.
Look, subsidies cover as much as 89% of the premium. So try taking away something that you've given to somebody for free. That's why we have a hard time dealing with entitlements right now. This will be a mess. I don't know how bad a mess, but the Supreme Court, look, this is a political court. They rule along ideological lines. They're supposed to rule according to law. They never do. They always rule according to their political leanings, which tell me it's an absolute political court. They're going to do what they think is best politically. I'm not sure what that is.
Well, we'll know soon. Thanks, guys. And thank you, Emily, for joining us. We appreciate it. Personal spending may be down, but spending to pamper our pets is soaring. Just ask our Bulls and Bears mascot. There he is, Ramon.